Okay, you want to do line number 4? I'm a big fan of this one. College should be free because free stuff is always better. Can you pull up the first image? Perhaps you've heard of this guy. You mentioned him in the book. Old Bernie Sanders wants to give away some free colleges. Can you pull up the second one? This is a shitty image from Reddit, but these are the 44 countries that offer free education. Gibraltar is offering Pakistan, Peru, Turkey. So I guess what is your what's the truth here with free college? Why, with all these countries, we're the biggest, strongest, most we're an economic powerhouse. How come we can't do it?
Oh, we can. I just don't think that the political will is there to do so. That's just there's no evidence that I've seen that that broad-based free college is something that works in a system like ours. Remember, most of those other nations that you pointed to do not have undergraduate experiences like ours with the bundle of services that we offer. Most of those are if you go to university in say Germany, the lectures are huge. They're impersonal. You never get to know your professors. You listen to a lecture or you don't. Many students don't. All of the ancillary services that we provide are not part of it. It's not the same undergraduate community that we have here. The college campus that we know it is a largely American invention grafted onto the old English college system. So we followed a different historical path than most of those other countries. And a lot of the free college stuff is like wishing that we had followed a different historical path. We didn't. Now, having said that, I think we can understand that the idea that college needs to be more affordable for larger numbers of people. Let's forget the people in the right tail of the income distribution. They can pay for Princeton's full list price. We don't have to care about them.
Yeah.
But for low and middle income families, there is a social good in making education more affordable because a college education generates both income for the individual and spillover benefits for others around them and for the state in the form of higher tax revenues. So there is a role for public subsidization of education. The political question is how much and how do we do it? If you make education free for all, in an interesting way, that's somewhat regressive. Because when you make, if we make public education free, the bulk of that benefit goes to high income families who are now currently paying the full list price of their public universities. They don't need that subsidy. Instead, we've got the low and the low middle income families who, even if you made tuition free, face financial obstacles because room, board, and foregone wages are the big impediments to going to college. So what we need is something that makes higher education more affordable for the 70% of the population that is actually constrained by the prices that they face. The upper incomes are not constrained by the prices that they face. Just blanket free. The argument for doing that is simplicity. Is that if college is free, everybody knows it's free, it's simple, and people will react by preparing for college earlier. I get that, but it's very, very expensive to make it free for everyone.
It is. And again, this is like one of those arguments where if you don't know the nuances, you just end up sounding like an idiot, but I am an idiot, so it doesn't matter. What I think Tupac Shakur in his classic tune, Keep Your Head Up, said they got money for war, but they can't feed the poor. This seems to be a pervasive thing. And again, I'm certainly not anti-military. I mentioned off air that my father is a retired colonel. I'm an Army brat. I lived all over the world. I graduated high school in South Korea. Loved it. Loved the Army. But the U.S. defense budget, just humor me, is $841 billion. There's 1,000 million in a billion. There's 300 million Americans. You could take a fraction of the defense budget, for example, and no matter what, okay, we're the institution is different than it is in Europe, but seemingly you could pay for Kenyon University for every single American and still be fine. So it just seems, and again, I know there's nuances here and systems in place and things I don't know, but just high level numbers. If you look at this, you go, what are we doing? You know?
The cost I mean, if you look at the cost of the Pell Grant program, for instance, uh, that is something. It's changing actually. The cost of the Pell Grant program has been going down over time, surprisingly, because fewer students are availing themselves of that. But the federal commitment is right now is probably something in the $50 billion a year range, not including the National Science Foundation and the NIH and things like that that subsidize research. But remember, even Bernie was only talking about public education. Here's the
Yeah.
big problem: public education in the United States is, for the most part, not the business of the federal government. These are state chartered universities.
Right.
And so any attempt at the federal level to make public tuition free is a complex political problem where you have the federal and the state governments having to get together. Just take a look at the wide variation across the United States in how states fund their schools.
Yeah.
At the top end, you've got states like New Mexico, which is poor, that spends a tremendous amount per full-time student, and you've got states at the bottom like Vermont that spend almost nothing.
Right.
Trying to design a system that blends those two together is very complicated.